welcome back. Thank you for joining us. My name is Melinda, and this is my sister guest appearance, Michaela, and we're here to tell you all about our wonderful Disney World trip and our review. Hello. Welcome back for part 3. Woo. Yeah, this has been a 3-part series with my fantastic co-host, my sister Michaela, special guest. We have had a fantastic time doing this, but this is the last one, and we will be going over all the scrumptious, delicious food and restaurants we did go to at Disney World while we were there. So, if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2, head on over there to find out how our transportation went and how we enjoyed the parks. Alright, everyone, let's get started. Okay, first up is the first restaurant we ate at, and I can never say the name. Say it.
It's El Milano.
El Milano. Alright. El Milano. Yeah, it's IL.
Okay.
It is at the Swan and Dolphin, but specifically at the Swan Hotel. So they don't take magic bands, or if you have anything linked to your room. It is on Disney property, but it's not owned by Disney. Just a heads up on that. But we are here to talk about the food. Alright. We shared a starter, and when I say that loosely. A shrimp cocktail. We had a shrimp cocktail. And just a little warning on that. The cocktail sauce is a runny cocktail sauce. I like thicker cocktail sauce.
Same here.
Yeah, that's what we grew up with, is a thicker cocktail sauce. But this one is a runny cocktail sauce. So just a little warning, if you are also a fan of thicker, you've been warned.
Yes, and it didn't, I don't know, the flavor was okay, but it was more like, I think, it wasn't as like horseradishy as I would have liked to go with my cocktail, but it's fine.
She's being nice. I didn't like it at all. I thought it didn't have any flavor to it. I thought it was like a run down. You're gonna kill me when I say this. A runny ketchup with. I'm gonna throw some horseradish sauce in there.
See, and I was gonna say it was like a watered down V8, but I
like
V8, just not watered down.
You're right. I do like V8s too, but yes, that's a better explanation of what it tastes like. Was a V8, not even watered down. Oh yeah, it kind of was. It was even less than that. So I do not recommend it unless that's the kind you like, but we like the thicker. And then after that, she put a smile on her face. We had and shared. Go ahead.
The mushroom risotto. If I would have known I liked it so much, I would not have shared. I would have just gotten it as my main entree and called it a night. Because it was, in my estimation, the best thing we had at that restaurant, and it was absolutely delicious, and I would go back there just for that.
I absolutely agree. It is the best risotto I've had. It was creamy. The flavors were fantastic. The way that they you couldn't pick out a specific flavor. They did a great job of incorporating all the different spices and textures, the mushrooms. It was yummy.
So yummy.
So yummy.
I really wanted to eat her half too, but
she did.
The server put it in a whole other bowl, so it was not even an option.
That's true. When we said that we were going to split the risotto, they brought out 2 separate bowls already with the items split for us, which is fantastic. So we didn't have to ask for another dish, and we didn't have to split it ourselves. Thankfully, because we know somebody would have given themselves more. And it was super good. Yeah. And after that, I had the chicken.
Wait, I want to interject real quick. And say, you said when they split it up and they brought it out, this is the deal with the El Milano. You get 2 there's 2 servers,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they take your table, and then there's a whole separate person that brings out your food. So you have 3 people assisting you throughout the night.
That's true.
Our waiters were, everybody was very nice to us. It was really weird, though, because our waiters look so similar.
They could have been brothers.
I
swear.
Which one was checking on us, and then which one was checking again, and we're like,
Yes.
well, maybe that was the other guy checking on us.
And it doesn't help that, once we sit down, we can take off our masks when we're eating, but they still had their masks on. They both wore glasses, and then they had the face shields as well on. Mm-hmm. That's how they serve there at Disney. You're going to find all the cast members in a mask and a face shield in the parks and the restaurants. Yes. They provided that for the cast members, which we did not hit on when we talked about the parks, but just to let you know now, the parks and the eateries, they did provide the cast members with that. So even though Il Milan is not a Disney location, it is on Disney property, and they also had masks that matched their uniform and then the shield. And then they both wore glasses as well. But
yep.
I swear they were brothers. I wasn't sure. But it is a fine dining option. So one of them does the drinks and the bread service. Oh, we didn't even talk about the bread. The bread service, and kind of make sure you have everything that you need, while the head waiter does the food. And then somebody from the kitchen obviously brings out the food for you. And when I say food, then they ask if you want pepper or the cheese or anything else on your items. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine dining. Okay. We'll have to go back to the bread because I already said I had chicken parmesan. And
you just did that already?
I did. I had that as my main, and it is as big as the plate, and it is only the chicken parmesan. So they pound it down, and then they bread it, and it's an heirloom chicken, just to let you know. So it does have that one bone sticking out, and it was massive.
Yeah, it was really big.
It was so big. Are you laughing because of the one bone?
Yeah, because your finger went up as soon as the one bone. Like this.
So,
like your finger
so I look like the chicken on the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my idea of that. It tasted good. It was massive and huge. They do let you do half orders of pasta dishes, but they don't let you do half order of any of the meat dishes, like what my sister got and then what I got, because now I see why. Because it literally was a plate of a chicken. It was so big. It was flavorful. It tasted good. There was just a lot to it, and I felt like I was wasting a lot of the food because we had already had 2 appetizers to say that I just felt bad wasting it. It was so big, and there was no way I was going to eat it. And we didn't even have dessert there.
No, we didn't.
So much food. But it was flavorful. It was good. Would I get it again? No. It's too big. And I would get the risotto, like my sister. It was so good. All right.
Yeah.
Tell them about your meal.
And I got the veal. I can't remember the name of it, but there were 2 veal options on the menu. The one I chose, I couldn't decide between either one. One came with potatoes, which I'm not supposed to be having potatoes, and the other one came with spinach, which I love spinach, so I'm like, I'll take the one with spinach. And it was a veal with prosciutto on it, and then on top of spinach and some sauce. When it came out, like I said, I love spinach. I didn't eat the spinach. I did not care for it at all. And the veal was hard, and I should have thought about it, but I didn't think about sending it back. It's just not in my nature to do so. Mm-hmm. And the sauce was delicious. So I used every bit of that overcooked veal to eat the sauce.
Mm-hmm. And that's so true.
I would order that again.
And
it was just,
yeah.
It was for me.
And when she says that she likes spinach, like they eat a lot of spinach at their meals. So it's not like, oh, I like spinach, so I'm gonna get it. No, they eat a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you did say that the veal was overcooked. It was like a hockey puck.
Yeah.
Yep. Bread.
I didn't like the oil options for the bread to dip in, but the bread on itself was good.
Okay, so when she says that, it is an Italian restaurant. So with that being said, they give you the little dishes, and one is olive oil, and the other one is balsamic vinegar. So they don't put any seasoning in the olive oil. Like some Italian restaurants will put the Italian seasoning and then put the olive oil on top of it. They do not. It's literally olive oil and balsamic. And the bread, though, is a focaccia bread is one of them, which is probably why they do that, because that is seasoned.
Already.
Yeah.
In the bread.
Right. But they had, was it just a regular French bread as well? Or was it a rustic?
Who remembers?
I think it was a rustic bread as well, which doesn't have any of that seasoning on it. And so therefore the combination of the olive oil and the balsamic is kind of just left it for that. The focaccia bread was good. They put sun-ripened tomatoes in theirs, so I'm picky about what that goes into. I like it in pasta sauces and stuff like that, but in my bread, I didn't like it.
So it just, overall, Il Milano was, I'm glad I went there.
Yeah, it was
I'm glad I went there because I would have regretted not going there after all the reviews I watched on the YouTube. But, and I will go there again. Like I said, I'll go there again for the risotto. It was...
I don't think I would. I'll be honest. I don't think that's not going to be on my docket to go back. Even if it was just you and I going back.
There's so many other places to choose that I would go somewhere else.
I still don't think, like, if we went for lunch and only got the risotto, I would be fine with that. I would not go for a dinner as well. Again, I just wouldn't. Because I do like... I don't know. I like the multiple courses and stuff. And if there's only one item that I liked off of there, it's just, not worth it for me. I would not recommend that restaurant to somebody who is going to eat. I wouldn't be like, oh, you have to go to that restaurant. I would not recommend it.
I'd say if you're going to that restaurant, the only thing worth getting is the risotto.
I agree.
From what we had. But we didn't try everything. And you know what? We have different tastes. She enjoyed her chicken parm. I didn't think it was that great.
She's totally sugarcoated. She's putting that silver lining on it for y'all, just in case, because we all have different opinions and we all have different taste buds, right? Our palate and what we like are completely different. These two gals are not going back.
Right.
All right. Then we moved on to the next morning. We had breakfast at... Oh...
We're not done with Il Milano.
Oh. Right. Okay, so when you're completely done with your food, they bring you a little tiny glass. I was going to say a call shot glass, but it's not. Of limoncello.
And I did know this before we went into it because of all the reviews that I watched on YouTube. And I forgot when we were there, or
I did too.
It's okay, you don't have to waste it on us.
Yes, because you're right.
I'm glad they did, because I've never had a sip before or a drink of it, and I did have a very small sip because I knew from watching all the YouTube videos that I was in for such a quite interesting experience, and I'm glad I sipped it.
Okay, so my sister did all the reviews and watched the stuff on the food, and she did the majority of them, and so she told me that was going to be there, and I'm like, oh, I do not like limoncello. I'm going to tell them not to bring it, because I had limoncello. I'm like, oh, please don't. I had limoncello and Sorrento in Italy, right before we went to Capri's, and so I knew I didn't like it. I already knew I'm not a fan of it. But I completely forgot as well. And they brought it, and we were both like, oh! Okay, I know I don't like this stuff, but I'm gonna taste it. We're gonna do a little cheers because my sister wanted to try it as well. And yeah, no, still don't like it. And it tasted different. I told my sister, I go, this tastes different than the one I had in Italy. It is it's harsher. I don't know how to explain that. I mean, it's heavy on alcohol as it is. I mean, it's made with vodka and lemons. So there you go. And not sugar, just
And
vodka and lemons. And they do make their own there. But yeah, the fermentation obviously is just different. I don't know the time difference that they do in Italy that they do there, but yeah, still don't like it.
Okay, now we can move on to
Okay. Olivia's Cafe. We had breakfast the next morning at Olivia's Cafe because why did we have breakfast there?
Because there was a review on the internet that I watched of their, well, everywhere you Google it, it says their banana bread French toast is delicious. So, we decided to try the banana bread French toast. Okay.
And I like how we say we, by the way.
I wanted the biscuits and gravy, and I wanted her to try the banana bread
Right.
French toast.
She's
so
like,
I could
hey.
try it.
Right, she's like, hey, by the way, we're making reservations at Olivia's Cafe because they have the bomb banana bread French toast. And by the way, that's what you're getting for breakfast. Because I'm getting. I was like, okay, I like banana bread and I like French toast, and I'm probably going to go for the vegetarianish option anyways. Okay, I'm game.
With banana syrup or something, right?
Yeah, it had like a rum banana syrup.
And a coconut whipped cream.
That's what they say. I couldn't taste the coconut and the whipped cream at all. It tasted exactly like any other whipped cream. They give you 3 tiny little itty bitty slices of banana on top of it. Now, the internet is going to hate me. I don't understand the hype. I don't get it. I don't understand why people are in love with this breakfast. It literally tasted like banana bread sliced up, put on a plate, put some rum syrup on it, put some whipped cream on it, and 3 slices of banana. The banana.
No French toasting of that, baby.
No, it didn't taste like a French toast at all. It didn't taste like they put it in the egg and then cooked it. It didn't have that consistency either. The consistency of it was like a cut up banana bread. It was soft and mushy because of the syrup on it. But I was like, what is the hype? They did not French toast this at all. My sister tasted it as well.
Right, because that's why she got it, so I could taste it.
Right, because I'm sharing with her. Because she had to try it, even though I had to have it. And then I did the turkey sausage. They did have a turkey sausage option with that. But I wasn't a fan of their turkey sausage either. It just tasted like they pulled it out of the freezer and maybe put it in a pan. I was not a fan at all. I don't understand the hype. Sorry. Go.
Me either. I understand. I don't understand there. And anyways, so we go there so I can have the biscuits and gravy, and I get the waffles and scrambled eggs and bacon.
The Mickey waffles.
They did not say Mickey waffles on the menu. I thought
They
I was going to
didn't.
get a regular waffle.
That's true.
And the Mickey waffle came out, and I was like...
Because we're at Disney. But yeah, go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
And I am not the biggest fan of Mickey Mouse, and so I try not to purchase anything Mickey ever.
That's true.
So I just ate them and called it good. The berry compote that came with it to put on it instead of syrup was good.
But but the waffles did taste good. So
yeah,
without it being Mickey, I mean, the waffles tasted good. That berry compote was very good. Your breakfast tasted good.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints about it. And the reason I didn't get the biscuits and gravy is because it wasn't on the menu.
It was not on the menu.
About it.
Yeah, it wasn't on the menu that they offered us. Yeah, sorry, I wouldn't go back there.
Yeah, me either. Same.
Sorry, I don't understand the hype.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, and just to let you know, at each place they do have something for you to scan on your phone in order for you to see the menu. But of course, if you don't have a phone that doesn't scan or needs a paper menu, just ask and they will give you one as well. Just to let you know that. All right. After Olivia, we ate our way through Epcot, which we already went through all of that over in our park video part 2. So we are gonna head down to dinner that night, which was.
It was initially only made reservations for dessert, but by the time we got there, we were like dinner and dessert. It was at the Wave at the Contemporary Hotel.
We ate at the Wave.
Yes, because we had seen on the internet.
Yes.
That for a temporary time they were offering the 7-layer cake, which is an exclusive dessert for the Disney Vacation Club members, and we wanted to try it. It looked delicious.
That's correct. They are offering that dessert in the Wave while things are locked down and closed, because the restaurant that they normally offer that in for only the Disney Vacation Club is not open. So we don't know how long that offer is going to be open. What is it called? The 7-layered cake? Mm-hmm. So we wanted to jump on that opportunity because we are not Disney Vacation Club members. And when else would we be able to taste what they can? Right. So we headed to the Wave. And we had a bread service at the beginning. They bring out a square butter with caramelized salt on top of it. And it was just different types of bread, right? It was French bread.
I don't remember the bread.
Yeah, I think it was rustic
good.
and French bread.
I liked the bread, and I asked her to scrape the salt off so I could just have regular butter.
That's true. Okay, that's so true. So I took the first little slab of butter and put it on my bread. I'm like, this is good. This is really has that creaminess of butter with the caramelized salt. It was so good. And she's like, I don't like that. I said, okay, I'll scrape off the salt because I like it, right? So the next time I scraped off all of the salt and put it on my bread. Okay, that's too much. Don't do that. That was like, okay, too much salt. I can't do that. No. And then I had, for dinner, I had the chicken breast. It's an heirloom chicken as well, just to let you know. A chicken breast with an apricot puree sauce. I had carrots and mashed potatoes. Yeah. It's just looking at me like, how am I supposed to remember what you ate? Because it's delicious! And I had her taste the sauce because that sauce was amazing. The chicken was cooked perfectly, which I had you try that too. The sauce was amazing. The vegetables were perfect. I cannot talk enough about that meal. It was such a good dinner. So scrumptious. Okay.
Yeah, mine too. 100%. It was the best dinner I think we had the whole trip for me. Mm-hmm. I got the pork tenderloin that came with broccolini, and it had a coffee barbecue sauce. I can't remember the kind of puree it was, but then it also had a chutney, and the whole thing was a grits. It was a cheesy grits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I like grits, so that's great for me. And it was just absolutely delicious. The whole thing was absolutely delicious, and I would eat there again, hands down. I mean, it was so good. It was just so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna safe to say, and I know it's early on, but that literally, I think, was our favorite restaurant. That was the best meal we'd had. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Yeah, and the cake was so worth going there.
Oh, yeah, and then we had the cake. So we didn't have an appetizer because we knew we were going to get that cake, and we shared the cake, and they brought out the cake on a plate and then gave us 2 utensils to eat it. And it was really good. It was moist, flavorful, chocolatey.
Melt your mouth. It was so good. The different layers. I can't even remember what they all were, but they were different flavors that complemented each other well. Yeah. And it was very good.
It was very good. I definitely say recommend it if you can get your hands on it. All right.
And
yeah,
of all the places we ate, it was the least expensive dinner.
It was.
The best dinner.
It was the best dinner we had, and it was the least expensive. I was actually surprised because the quality of their food, their sauces, everything, the service, it was impeccable. Impeccable. Impeccable.
Highly recommend.
We do. We give the wave 2 thumbs up. All right. On that note, we're moving to breakfast the next day at Kona, which is at the Polynesian Resort. Okay, Kona, you start it.
The reason we chose Kona is because...
Here we go again, by the way. I'm warning you now.
My heart set on the stuffed French toast. Mm-hmm. It's a bananas foster type filling with French toast around it. Then it's French toast and then wrapped in cinnamon and sugar, served with strawberry compote. Yes, I got it.
Yeah, I was like waiting for her to do that. This time, she ordered it and got it. It wasn't like, oh, by the way, this is what you're getting. No, she ordered it. And
she made herself very clear that she was not eating French toast 2 days in a row, so if I wanted to try it, it was up to me.
That's exactly right, everyone. You heard it here first. And what'd you think of it? I did try it. I tasted it. You give your opinion first.
It was not at all what I expected. I expected it to be a little more moist. I mean, it did have the banana stuffed filling, so I didn't think it would be as dry as it was.
It was so dry. It was so dry.
So dry.
Oh my gosh.
The strawberry compote was fantastic, delicious, and at the end, because I was at that point, I was cutting off pieces of the French toast so I could put strawberry compote on it and eat it. Mm-hmm. And when you put it all together in like an equal bite, it was good. It was good. I wouldn't write home about it. I don't plan on getting it again.
I will never get it.
No, she won't get it. And at the end, I had like this much French toast left, and it was double layered, so it was a big chunk of French toast left. And I looked at her and I said, with the strawberry compote in my hand and a spoon, is it socially acceptable to eat this with a spoon? And then I finished my strawberry compote and left the rest of the French toast. Yeah,
because I said eat what you actually like. Don't fill up on the French toast if that's not the part you don't like. And so she ended up eating the compote, which was your favorite part of that whole meal. Yeah.
It was really.
And I didn't like the French toast at all. I thought it was way dry. And sugary. It had a cinnamon sugar. Stay tuned. We have to get my sister back. Yay! We got my sister back. Alright, so real quick, what I was saying was that it also was too sugary because I believe it had cinnamon and sugar all over it as well. So it was too sweet for me and it was so dry. Oh my gosh, so dry. I would not ever get it. I had the macadamia pancakes, and it has a pineapple, and they give you plenty of pineapple on top of it as well. It had pineapple and something else mixed into it, but their compote, I guess. And they give you a macadamia butter as well to put onto it, and it was very good. It was flavorful. It was yummy. I won't get it again because I don't like nuts in my dessert or a lot of that type of food, breakfast food, I guess. And there are macadamia nuts in there. They chop them. It's not like a full nut, but that texture to me just, but they tasted very good. My sister tried it as well. What, did you like it? She's like, eh.
I don't remember. Is that terrible?
Well, then it wasn't memorable to you.
Right, it wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to Kona.
But you know what was memorable?
The time we had together.
Oh. Yeah, that was really nice. And I totally set you up for that, but no, that's not what I was thinking. The turkey bacon. I got turkey bacon, and it was huge and thick. And when it came out, we both looked at each other and went, that's not turkey bacon, that's regular bacon. Right. They screwed up.
It was real bacon.
I thought it was real bacon because of the way it looked, the big, thick slab of bacon that they do. But no, it was turkey bacon. It was good. I would go back for the turkey bacon. I wouldn't get those pancakes again. I tried it once, and I'm good. They were good, though, but I'm good. All right, anything else about Kona?
Nope.
All right, we're moving on then to Sanaa. We had lunch at Sanaa, so we left Animal Kingdom Park and went to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we had lunch at Sanaa, and we had so much food because we started out with the bread service, which is the naan and naan. Sorry, naan. Different type of naan. They had like a plain, they had a garlic, they had a spicy one. They had 4.
And nine different like chutneys or compotes or
sauces.
Whatever.
Yeah, dips, sauces, compote, chutney. Yeah. And there was 9 of those, and those were fabulous to try. There's 2 that we absolutely didn't touch because they were on the hot, spicy level, and we're not hot and spicy. Oh no, I lost her again. What is up with this connection? What is going on with part 3? We did perfectly fine with part 1 and part 2. It must be one of those days. Let's go get her again. Alright, she's back again, so let's try to get through Sanaa. We had the different sauces and the bread service, and it was very good, but I think that with that, it is very filling, and not to get a full lunch. We probably should have had like a appetizer, I think, of meat, of some type of meat, protein to go with that. But we did have a full lunch. We got, what did we get? We both had the exact same thing. Go ahead.
Butter chicken.
Yeah. You went like that, so I'm like, do you not remember?
Right.
Butter
with
chicken.
Cilantro and ginger vegetables, I think.
No.
And cilantro and
coconut.
Coconut and cilantro vegetables, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. It was fine.
And then a rice. And then it came with a rice as well.
Yeah, and then it came with rice. And then the idea is you dump it all onto the plate together, mix it together, and eat it together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I thought the sauce on the butter chicken was really, really good. I loved it. I loved that.
The chicken was really good. I ate all my butter chicken.
I thought it was fantastic. I didn't eat it all only because I was so full from the bread. But that and the rice were fantastic. I did like the vegetables, but
I did not.
Did not.
And I had spoken to the waiter about the difference between the potatoes and the vegetables before he took my order. And he suggested I do the potatoes, but then in my head, my doctor's like, stop eating some of the potatoes. So I said, okay, I'll take the vegetables. And then I was so disappointed. And he, being the great waiter that he was, went and brought me the potatoes. He brought me the dish of potatoes.
Right.
And I already finished my chicken by the time he brought them. And it was so hot, but they were good.
They were super hot because they literally just came out of the oven.
Make them young.
Yeah. And I had some of those as well, and it was way better than the vegetables. I like the vegetables, but that was way better. I would get the potatoes next time. Okay, and then we had a dessert. I don't remember what it's called.
That was good.
Yeah, it was super good. It was the triple mousse something other, right? It was an African chocolate.
African chocolate mousse cake or something like that. It was good. I liked that.
It was very good. It was flavorful. It was rich. It was really good. We split it.
Yeah, I would get that again.
Yeah, me too. I really liked that place. I liked the food. I liked it. And there was tons of options to try as well. We just ended up getting the same because I love curry sauces and I needed protein. So I went with, of course, chicken. Because what else do I eat?
You get to watch the animals out the window.
We did. We got a window view. It was fantastic. All right, so we're moving on to dinner, which we had at Disney Springs at,
Wine Bar George.
Wine Bar George. I keep wanting to call it Wine George, but it's Wine Bar George. And we ate there. We got a reservation. It is a tapas-style dining experience. So I think there's 2 actual entrees if you do want an entree, but it's more geared for tapas style. Yeah. Right? I had the wine, because I'm the wino. And
I had water, and I was a little disappointed that there was no ice.
There wasn't ice. It was very European, the way they had it set up. The way it was set up with the tables inside and stuff. And I guess because it's tapas as well. But I had him suggest a glass of red wine, and then I ended the meal with a Moscato. and of course I can't remember what red wine he suggested, but it was really good. It was fabulous. Both of the wines were really good. For the meal, we had the flaming cheese.
Yep, had the deep fried macaroni and cheese balls.
Oh yeah, deep fried macaroni and cheese balls.
I had meatballs.
You had meatballs, and then I had chicken skewers. So we shared as much as we can. I don't eat red meat or pork or any of that, so I did not have the meatballs. My sister had that. And
they were good.
Okay. You liked them? Would you get them again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think next time I just go with the charcuterie board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And going in, that's what I thought I was going to get.
Me too.
That with a chicken skewer because I need some protein. Even though I know cheese is protein, but you know what I mean. And
I think we might have had a miscommunication with our ordering there. Because I think if we would have sat and talked about it a little more, we probably would have gotten that. And
well,
then,
I know that we wanted to try the flaming cheese because we'd saw it somewhere. And it looked really good. It did look good. But I didn't want to have a cheese board and the flaming cheese. I thought that would be too much cheese. But then again, we got the macaroni and cheese balls. So the flaming cheese we both tried. I ate most of it, I think, because it's a hard, sharp cheese.
I liked the cheese. I didn't like the vehicle. Like, I didn't like the toast that it came on, or that you were supposed to put it on and then eat it. Like, I would have been happier just using my fork and eating it, or softer bread to put it on.
Yeah, I can see that. It was kind of like a crostini type setup of bread. So it was, a French bread toasted. Yeah, but the cheese part was really good. But it's a Starp, like a Stetson type of cheese. That's not what type of cheese. It's a goat cheese, but it is sharp. And I did like it, but not as much as they give you. It's a lot. Yeah. Then we had the fried macaroni cheese balls. I think you had one and I ate the rest, right? Because they were spicy.
They were too spicy for me.
They're very spicy. And we couldn't figure out what it was. So we actually asked the waiter what the spiciness was.
Shout out to Christian. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what he said?
He said it was flaming Cheetos or
yes.
Cheez-It something scrunched up and put in the batter.
Yeah, it's the flaming Cheetos.
And a little bit of sriracha sauce and something else.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you'd remember. Yeah, I was like, really? I'm like, oh, that's what that spiciness is. It's the flaming Cheetos. I was like, oh, okay. And I ended up eating them all because I did have the wine to kind of subdue the spiciness. It wasn't like super hot or I would not have been able to eat it as well. And then, lastly, with the chicken skewers. I think you had a bite of them. And I ate them. They were good. They were flavorful.
They were good, and you really liked the coleslaw that it came with.
I love the coleslaw it came with.
My meatballs with the grits, or the polenta, sorry, and your chicken skewers with the coleslaw would have been a meal.
That was fine. That's all we needed. Yep. And it's small. Don't get me wrong. It's not really a full meal. It's a tapas style. It was small. I think you got like 2 meatballs, right?
3, I think, yeah.
3 meatballs, and I got 2 chicken skewers, but with some coleslaw. But it was enough for us. But we'd eaten throughout the day, so just a heads up. But it tasted good. But would you go back there?
Yes.
I thought the wine was very good.
Try the cheese board.
I would get the cheese board.
You would enjoy the wine.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there as a meal though. I would do there as like an afternoon thing or maybe a light lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The last one. Boo, 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 boo. No shocker to any of you all. We finished the whole trip at breakfast at
The Wave.
The Wave. We went back to The Wave. I heard a rumor. not a rumor. I specifically asked Michael K. I don't know if you know him or not. He is a YouTuber. He's a Disney YouTuber here. And I specifically asked him if I want a really good Eggs Benedict, what restaurant would I go to? And he told me The Wave. Not told me, he messaged me. The Wave. And I'm like, alright. So before we even went to dinner at The Wave, we had that as our last breakfast, The Wave. And boy, were we happy to go back there. We were so happy to go back there because of the dinner we had. And by the way, he's right. The Egg Benedict. I had the Floridian Benedict. I don't know if you can hear the motorcycle outside.
Oh, can, yeah.
Woo! Yeah, we're all hearing it right now. So it's a crab cake, because obviously I don't eat ham, so I didn't get the regular Eggs Benedict. But I love hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce? Hollandaise sauce. I love it. And that Wave can do sauces. I'm telling you right now, everyone, if you are a sauce person, head to the Wave.
The Wave is the place to go.
The best. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I loved everything about the Benedict I had. We even asked, my sister was very nice enough to ask the gentleman for more sauce for me, hollandaise sauce, and I put it on my potatoes.
She did not like the crab.
Oh, that's true, but everybody has a different palate and taste, so when I say that, I am not a fish person, a swim fish person. I do eat crab, shrimp, crustaceans basically, scallops, stuff like that. But this is real crab. It is real crab. It's not imitation crab. So there was something off about the crab. It wasn't very fresh. You tasted it.
Yeah, I didn't care for it either. I was like, ooh, that tastes fishier than it should.
Right. And you know, if seafood is tasting fishy, it is no longer fresh. I'm telling you that right now. Y'all know that. So I actually scraped off the crab cake because I'm like, I am not doing fishy at all. So my sister loves crab cakes. And so I'm like, you have to taste this. And she's like, oh yeah, it's fishy. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. It's real crab, but it's not fresh.
And I don't like hollandaise sauce, but I do like their hollandaise sauce. It was good.
Right? Oh, if you're a sauce person, we're recommending 2 thumbs up to the Wave. Let me tell you. Okay, and what'd you have?
I had the sweet potato pancakes with the honey pecan butter, and it was delicious. And I'm not a big sweet potato person, but I was like, oh, that sounds good. Let me try it. It was delicious. I would get it again.
Hands down.
I'm happy with the Wave.
Hands down, I tried her pancakes because we're sharers. We care. Well, we're sharers with each other. We'll put it that way. And it was so good. I was like, can I get my meal and one of your pancakes? Because it was delicious. It was so good.
Really good.
Man, they make a good sweet potato pancake. Let me tell you.
And the honey pecan butter was absolutely delicious.
It was scrumptious. Yeah, definitely. I believe 100% that on our next time to Disney World, we will definitely be going to the Wave. Mm-hmm. Of all the places that we went to on our trip for food, we will absolutely go to the Wave again.
Yep, and
we highly recommend it.
The staff was so great, and the whole place was very kid-friendly, so even if we are taking the kids, because
we are. We're taking the kids the next time. And
it'll be great to have them there. It's a good restaurant for families as well.
Yes, I agree. Great table service. Fantastic. All the way around. I cannot say enough good things about the Wave.
Agreed.
All right. And that's it. We ended it with the Wave and headed off to the airport. We were done with all our food extravaganza.
It was a very quick trip, and someone was exhausted.
We were both so tired with the heat and the humidity and getting up at 6 a.m. and going to bed at 11 o'clock every night. Woo! I haven't done that in a long time, let me tell you. But we definitely ate our way around Disney World. I will tell you that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We had some good food. Woo! Man, Disney knows how to do it sometimes. And definitely the chefs at the Wave know how to do it as well.
Yes, he is fantastic. They're fantastic there.
Fantastic, whoever that is. Yep. And I have to say, we had other recommendations from YouTubers as well that we were like, oh no, what are they thinking? We didn't like any of it except for Michael's recommendation to the Wave. That was the only one we liked. All the other recommendations we were like, what are they thinking? Definitely a different palate. That's all it comes down to, is that we just have different taste buds.
Yep.
Right?
It's just different.
Just different. All right. Anything to add, my sister?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you all for having me.
I know. I'm so excited that we got to have her for a 3-part series, and this totally works well. So I'm hoping to convince her, if you all like it, to bring her back for some more. Woo woo! Uh-oh. She has that scared face.
Smile and nod.
Smile and nod, smile and nod, and then don't do it, right? Okay, everyone. That is it for this go-round of our review of our wonderful, fantastic sister trip at Disney World. If you are new here, think about hitting the subscribe button. We'd love to have you join the family. And until next time, bye, everyone.